Norseman as they say it locally, and yeah, there's not a heck of a lot going for it. That's the truth of it. Look, I've set the destination for a spot called Kaiguna, and I'm not expecting to reach there because there's no accommodation along the way. I found all the roadhouses for tonight, and they've got nothing going unless I luck out as I pass them and they've had a cancellation, which is unlikely. And so tonight's a camping night.
Recording.
Well, here's another one of these stretches of road where it serves as a runway for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, and in an emergency they will land on this stretch of road because it's obviously so straight and it's a good surface. So they do warn you that you could get a plane buzzing you. Well, so here's the stretch over here where they would look to land the plane. So I'm about to head off down a runway here on my Postie bike. A very impressive kind of enhancement to the road. And I guess they could land, if there was traffic, they would land on one of these gravel on the left or the right. Okay. Alright, so here we are. I'm at the start of the 90-mile straight. Australia's longest straight road, 146.6 kilometers. At the other end of this is Kaiguna, where I'm going to stop for the evening. So the rest of my ride today will have no twisties. No twisties whatsoever. Anyway, it's a great spot just to stop and get this image, I must say. Straight 146 kilometers of just dead straight road.
Recording.
I'll just put the drone up just to get a shot of this road. I'm about 60 kilometers along it from when I started, and yeah, about 58 kilometers along, and yeah, it's straight. I can confirm that. I'm hoping that this is going to be the last time I set this tent up. So it's a bit blustery, and but this should be doable even in this. I've probably got a bit of mold on here, truth be known, because I did pack it away a bit damp the last time. That was a long time ago. All right, where's the door? Yeah, that's all right. I'm all right, mate. How you doing?
Am I right to say it's a Postie bike?
It is. It is.
A big effort.
Oh, you know what? It's an absolute joy. It is an effort, of course it is. You know, you can't ride that thing and just. But it's been an absolute joy to ride. I'm going all the way around.
Oh right.
So yeah, I'm kind of about 3/4 of the way around now, heading back home, which feels good.
New South Wales, I say.
Sorry?
New South Wales.
Yeah. Sydney.
Big effort for her.
So it's a big effort. I've had a motor rebuild, I've had everything. Yeah.
Four-stroke. They're four-stroke, aren't they?
Yeah, 4-stroke 110.
Yeah.
So eventually in this breeze I got the tent up. Not so easy when you don't bend so well as an old geezer. And yeah, there's a bit of a breeze blowing. I think it's going to drop later this evening. It did last night out at Norseman, and so that's all right. I'll deal with it. As I say, it should drop off, but then it's going to get really chilly. I'm sure of that. I've got this nice lean-to over on this side that I set the tent up near to. I didn't want to hog it, but I'm going to hog it.
Recording.
Well, it's 8:09 and I've just left Kaiguna Roadhouse on my way to Eucla, which is 337 kilometers away. And look, it's a lot warmer than it was yesterday. I don't have a couple of layers on, so that's good news. And my camping night last night was relatively warm. Well, it was totally warm. I didn't get cold at all, except that my air mattress, my Airlight 9 air mattress that I've used, I think, 6 or 7 times, went flat and kept going flat. So it's got a leak in it somewhere. Well, this is Madura Pass, 180 kilometers from Eucla still, and it's probably the highest point for many kilometers around. It was 113 meters above sea level back there, and I'm now riding into Madura, so yeah. 113 meters, and that's called Madura Pass. So going here, I'm just going to fill up with some fuel. See if I can get a decent coffee here. The coffee back at was a bit ordinary, to say the least. So anyway, there's no unleaded petrol at the next stop. No, I should be able to make it all the way. Of course I should, to Eucla with the fuel I've got. But you know what? We don't know what's going to happen, so we'll just top up here. So I've just left Eucla Motel, tiny little Roadhouse settlement kind of thing. I think it's got a couple of services available there. 12 kilometers to the South Australian border, and I'm moving to another time zone. I don't know. Sometimes things surprise me. I was in a different time zone here. From Kaiguna to Eucla, and about maybe 20 kilometers inland from here, is a completely separate time zone. It's 45 minutes ahead of Western Australia time. Now, why it surprises me is because when you come across from the north into Western Australia, the first town you get to is Kununurra, which is only about 40 kilometres inside the Western Australian territory, state. And there's no special time zone there, you just work on Western Australian time. And look, it is a bit weird because things happen very differently there. The sun rises much earlier than at the coast, and it sets much earlier at the coast than at the coast, etc. So to have a single time zone for Western Australia is, is questionable, but it's not a very heavily populated place, the eastern part of Western Australia. So I understand it. Except for here, where I'm 45 minutes ahead of Western Australia, and in a couple of minutes I'm going to move another 45 minutes ahead again to get on to South Australian time, which is half an hour behind Eastern Standard Time. Now, you've got to ask a question there as to why half an hour makes such a big difference. You either go a bloody hour, or you go half an hour, or you don't go at all. So, anyway, Eucla, Kaiguna to Eucla, that's the stretch, which is probably, I don't know, I forget now, 100 and, well, it might be longer, let's call it 240 kilometers, 250 kilometers at the most. So, and I'm on my way now to the Nullarbor Roadhouse where I'm going to stay tonight. So I've got about 180 kilometers to do today. Not a big deal. The weather's a bit overcast and there was a bit of drizzle about when I got up this morning. So I've put my wet weather gear on and look, we'll see how that goes. It's not cold at all. I've got my intermediate gloves on, which don't offer much warmth at all other than just wind protection. And yes, so the Eucla motel, I've got to say this for it. The rooms are very nice, well-appointed rooms, quite obviously been renovated or built reasonably recently, and so they're very comfortable rooms with whatever facilities you need. And the night before last, I had in their restaurant I had a steak. It was a Scotch fillet done with potato wedges, salad, and some. I had the mushroom sauce with it, and I have to say, it is one of the best steaks I've eaten in many a day. Wow, this guy, I ordered it medium rare because, you know, normally when I do steaks for myself, I do them rare, but you know, when you go into these places out in the country and all that, it's quite variable as to what you might get when you order rare. So I order medium rare, and it came cooked absolutely spot on. Nice crusting on the outside, just perfectly cooked, and the sauce, the mushroom sauce, was unbelievable. It was a dark mushroom sauce. Oftentimes they kind of like a paler mushroom sauce. This was a dark mushroom sauce, and it was so rich and tasty. Oh gosh, it was good. If I could do a sauce like that, I'd be a happy man. Yeah, look, I'm not going to say it's the best steak I've had in my life because I can cook a mean steak myself, and I pride myself sometimes on what I'm able to produce when I cook a steak. But the sauce, I'm not up to that standard of sauce making. That was really good. The upshot of this is, if you're swinging by Eucla, you know, in the next week or so, stop by the Eucla motel and stay a night. The rooms are comfortable, and have yourself a steak. I promise you, you will not regret it. So, the border village is 5 kilometers away, so that's how far I've got to go to get to the South Australian border. It's not raining now. It doesn't look like, oh, you know what, I mustn't say that. It might not rain, you know, for the rest of my journey today, but look, I've got my rain gear on. If I start to cook in it, you know, I can always take it off. the issue is my rain pants, not the jacket so much. The rain pants, in order to get them on, I have to take my boots off. Now, that's something you don't want to be doing when you got to stand on the side of the road in the mud or the slush or the gravel or whatever it is. Take your boots off, put your rain pants on, and I don't bend so bloody well, do I? So it's a struggle all round. Even when I'm sitting in a chair, it's a struggle to get, you know, all this gear on and my boots on, etc., because I don't bend easily. So yeah, I put my rain pants on, and they'll stay on until I get to the Nullarbor Roadhouse for the day. Oh, what was that? There was a bit of a slightest of hesitations there from my little Postie motor. That's I'm just hoping it was just a little fuel feed issue. Sounds good, feels good, doesn't feel like there's no funny noises. So, but you know, when you've had the drama I've had, every little hiccup becomes a nightmare for you. Especially when you've got, you know, I'm guessing I've got 3,000 kilometers to go. And it's still a long way for this little bike. So, it looks like I'm coming up to the South Australian border here. So it's a bit of a photo opportunity, which I'll take.
Recording.
I'm always astounded that there's these literal border crossings with checkpoints and you name it. So welcome to South Australia. I can't stop here really. But there it is. Welcome to South Australia. So, yeah, I'm always astounded that there are these kind of proper border crossings. We live in one country. Now I know there's all sorts of quarantine things and you name it, around fruit being carried over borders. But I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of trucks there. They might just be resting up. So I mustn't read too much into that. But anyway, I'm in South Australia now, and my time would have changed again. So don't ask me what time it is. I have no idea.
Recording.
Well, I've just passed the sign that just said, this is the western end of the Nullarbor Plain, the treeless Nullarbor Plain, and certainly looks treeless to me, that's for sure. I thought the Nullarbor had started way back, but clearly I'm mistaken, and this is the Nullarbor Plain, so the sign informs me. Obviously those trees over there or at the Roadhouse coming up here are foreign invaders of this landscape. Yeah, there's just these low-lying, kind of look like salt bush. Anyway, this is my destination for the day. Well, I stopped here at the Nullarbor Roadhouse and got off my bike and just noticed the shiny inside part of my chain and how my rear sprocket, I'll just try and get this camera in there, has completely worn away on that right hand side. So the chain has been pulling skew in the sprocket. The wheel would have been mounted slightly skew to have caused this. Probably when Mark, well, it would have been when Mark changed my tire, and Yeah, look, this is really dicey. So the chain's holding together. I've straightened it on the axle as much as I've been able to, so that it runs more on this left side than on that right side. But it's wearing that chain so badly, and the sprocket is knackered. So I've ordered a new chain and sprocket set from Lambda in Brisbane, and asked Mike to express mail it down to me so that I can replace this, because it's dangerous because that chain could go. So I'm going to ride it through to Seduna, and that's going to be it, and then I'll replace it there. But of course you can't get these things just over the counter, so yeah, it's got to be shipped in, and then I'll have to replace all of this stuff. The joys of